Good morning again. Good morning again. This talk is about international law and statutory laws and provisions that are within the United Nations treaty laws that are applicable within the United States of America. Such laws have been ruled to be applicable in the United States against Barack Hussein Obama and his subordinates. This we are asking to apply in the cases that were covered up, where even injury was, committed willfully and knowingly by Black Lives Matter members and associates in 2018 to the founder and CEO of U.S. Constitution Protects All Lives Matter, Incorporated, located in Staten Island, New York. Such incident happened July of 2018. And other incidences before, under the Obama administration, were taking place. So therefore, Barack Hussein Obama and his subordinates should be tried in a UN tribunal based upon the fact of to alleviate any type of outcry from Obama loyalists for corruption of the trials. A UN tribunal is fair, impartial, and it is of other countries' judges. And such laws under Articles 2 through 9, what I was subjected to, and others subjected to, are punishable by death, and that death penalty is death by hanging. A few years ago, when I first started mentioning what I was doing and up to as far as proving the atrocities committed by the Obama-Biden administration, Obama's Secret Service detail came to my house in Staten Island, my workspace. U.S. Constitution Protects All Lives Matter. My neighbors, my landlord, my mother, my brothers, and others. And unfortunately enough, one incident was caught on tape at Ercolano Salmoria in Westside Avenue in Jersey City, New Jersey, where my older brother was accosted by Secret Service agents in a meeting that they had set up. Now, this is a great piece of evidence, because since other evidence was taken from my home and workspace, 11 files, evidence of in two civil RICO cases, and other FOIA complaints that were filed in the Washington, D.C. circuit with evidence appended to it to prove beyond a reasonable doubt their validity. These individuals came into my home without my authorization, stole 2 computers, a laptop, and an iPad, smashed the hard drive computer that I had in my workspace, and then smashed a laptop and a individual iPad. This, you can see what it is, because they left several $100s in stamps in the drawer, along with $450 in cash, which was sitting right on top. So you basically know they left a message. This is what we came for. These items, these 11 case files, and these files full of evidence, this is what we came for. And thereafter, I was crossing the street late at night, and I was ran down by a vehicle. Thanks to my military training, I wasn't killed. And then while in the hospital later on, after surgery, 3 individual Black American women dressed up as what you call licensed practical nurses, which the clothes were dirty and stuff, and I was coming in and out of my anesthesia. And I said, "What do you want?" And they said, "Oh, we're here to give you your pain medication." Three 3-inch syringes full of liquid. One was the allegedly Dilaudid, which one was told to me by. The other one was morphine. And another one was, what do they call it? A milder sedative. But 3 inches full would have killed me immediately with the first inch of Dilaudid. That tells you something. But before they came, before my doctor, when I was waking up, gave me the individual medication and the times it was to be administered. So thank God for him. And then I emailed him right after letting him know. This was at Staten Island University Hospital. So you know how treachery is in the world of intelligence. That is just a scintilla of evidence. There's other before, which we will not get into because the case is about to be litigated before the Second Circuit. We the people, for the people, by the people will prevail. I might not be able to have children, but I sacrificed it. Just like so many Italian Americans and Roman Catholics in the Federal Bureau of Prisons sacrificed it. Under the guise of COINTELPRO and Project M being employed by the authorization of Barack Hussein Obama, which you rarely see coming out now in the newspapers. Why, we don't know. Everybody claimed that Donald Trump was defying court orders. Well, court order to cease and desist the use of COINTELPRO was put in place in 1987 by the D.C. Circuit Court of Appeals. The D.C. Circuit Court of Appeals. Project M was told to never be used in the United States of America and let alone be used on a U.S. citizen. And that is a United States Supreme Court ruling and order. So who violated those orders, ladies and gentlemen? Barack Hussein Obama, Joe Biden, Mr. Carvajal, the then BOP director and the one who predecessor, and also each and every military BOP employee who, back then, committed acts in violation of the UCMJ, committed acts of atrocities, committed acts of humanity violations. Therefore, UCMJ is applicable to those individuals working in the confines of the Bureau of Prisons who willfully and knowingly, in unison and concert, participated in such illegal surgical procedures that make Dr. Mengele look like an angel, make Auschwitz look like a convent, makes the Gestapo look like choir boys, makes Adolf Hitler look like a saint. These individual operations, ladies and gentlemen, are wrong. These individual operations cause people to have cancer. These individual medical procedures and expired medications given to certain Italian Americans caused one, Gaetano Badalamenti, to have brain cancer, who died in prison. Fado Bartolota, who died in prison. Frank Polizzi, who developed orange-sized tumors underneath his skin, died at home after a compassionate release after he spent almost $1 million on legal fees. Let alone the early on ones like Dominic D'Agostino, who the morning he was going to be released was given such a dose of radiation, globs of skin were peeling off his body. This, ladies and gentlemen, is a sign of atrocity. It is a sign of UN treaty violations, human rights violations. And is a sign when you can use people to alter records of federal inmates. You can say that's enslaving and that's slavery. And this is what is committed by the Obama-Biden administration, supported by his Black Lives Matter soldiers. And why I say soldiers? Because you've seen what happened in the United States of America, from Minnesota all the way to New York on down south. L.A., SeaTac, Oregon. So again, ladies and gentlemen, this is not some delusional or conclusional, opinionated statement. It is factual, backed up by truth. Look up a covered-up case, Rizzoli versus Executive Office of the U.S. Attorney et al., 23 CV 1597. Look up U.S. versus Rizzoli, 12 CR 550, prosecuted by Damian Williams in the Southern District of New York before Denise Coate. And this was to silence me. And if you look into that record, you'll see why it was used to silence me. Because there's videotapes missing that proves something and proves a real conspiracy. Proves beyond a reasonable doubt what I say is true. Thank you very much. And remember, Articles 2 through 9 is applicable, and you can look that up in Kadic versus Karadzic, 232 Fed 3rd, and that's, 270 Fed 3rd, 232, 2nd Circuit, 1995, reversed and remanded, trial ordered for the country's leader, and he is responsible for his subordinates' acts and actions. Diaz versus Gates, 420 Fed 3rd, 894, 9th Circuit. Lamone versus U.S. Department of Justice, 336 Fed Sub 2nd, 447, District of Massachusetts. The landmark mountainous, thick opinion that sent shockwaves through the legal community on what the atrocities committed under Judge Valerie Caprone's rules and regulations of what she let happen in the top echelon program while she was supervising lead attorney for the U.S. Department of Justice in Washington, D.C. And who made her a judge? Barack Hussein Obama. So again, ladies and gentlemen, there is grounds there to support what I say and to support what everything that Pam Bondi is doing or going to do against those individuals. She has a packet full of documents and court papers that was covered up in all my trials, all the way up to 2019, 2 in the Bronx, 1 in Manhattan. So again, ladies and gentlemen, we have substantiation and we have anti-Roman Catholics that are running Manhattan right now, who are just pawns for Obama, Patrisse Cullors, and the Iranian government. Thank you very much. God bless you. Be alert, stay alive, and make sure you say, God we bless. Thank you.